podcast is brought to you as a joint initiative between Anubhav, the National Institute of Social Defense, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and Media for Community Foundation. Producers, CovaiCare Retirement Communities. If you are a senior citizen and need help, contact our Elder Helpline 14567 between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. We promise to help you lead a better life. I repeat, 14567 between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Hello, listeners. This is Malati Jaikumar of CovaiVani, and I wish to share some thoughts with you. I was rearranging my cupboard the other day, as we all do from time to time, and I was struck by many thoughts. I felt that hidden away in every woman's wardrobe is a saga of a life lived with all its ups and downs, the passions, the romance, and the heartache. Locked away in steel almirahs, slumbering in wooden cupboards, or nestling in the good old trunk of yesteryears, is the colorful history of the lady of the house. Most often, it is only the owner who knows all the intricacies of the twists and turns in her life, the pleasure, the pain, the tears and laughter, the pride, the joy, the excitement, and all the other emotions that weave together to make a full life. My wardrobe, an ancient Godrej steel almirah with a mirror on one side. All almirahs those days were called Godrej, just as all nail polish was called Cutex. Full of memories and scintillating tales of years filled with great experiences. Each soft 6 yards of fabric evokes an emotion that brings peace, nostalgia, pain, and happiness in equal measure. When I open the cupboard, the saris jostle and nudge each other for attention, and each time I choose one, it drapes me in a haze of times long past or recent. The most poignant story is entwined in the deep, rich burgundy colored silk sari covered with baskets of flowers embroidered in gold with a solid swath of shimmering gold for a pallu. My mind goes back to 1932, the year my father and mother were married in a village way down south, when this sari was worn by my father's mother. I can imagine her bustling around at the very first family wedding, the marriage of her eldest son, welcoming her first beautiful daughter in law. In 1964, the very same well preserved sari reached me in Calcutta, barely a year after my father's death. My grandparents had sent it by registered post. There was no courier service those days. A parcel laden with luminous thoughts as a gift and a comfort for my first birthday without a father. I wore the sari at my own wedding Janavasam in 1966 and many times since then, reliving the joy and the heartache. The stunning all gold lace sari that I wore at my wedding reception in 1966 is all wrapped in tissue paper, having traveled all the way to Leeds in England to be worn by my daughter at her memorable wedding to a young, handsome British lad in 2005. I can almost hear the moving oaths they had written for each other and feel again the lump in my throat as they articulated with great emotion. The white Kanjivaram pattu sari with a maroon and gold embroidered border and a striking pallu conjures up days of happiness as it was my Talai Deepavali sari when I pregnant with my first child. I do not think I was ever pampered as much as I was then. It evokes memories of lights glimmering outside the house, the fragrance of sweets, the smell and sound of fireworks, laughter, and shrieks of happiness as colors streaked the sky. The sari presented to me for my only brother's wedding is a radiant peacock's neck color, a fascinating blend of blue and green, and a very delicate touch of mauve or pink, with a deep maroon border embellished with two bands of gold. It has always been my favorite color. A reversible tanchoy of midnight blue winks at me reminding me of mad parties. When it was frayed at the ends, I was so loath to throw it away that I converted it into a salwar kameez that waltzed with me at later parties. The brilliant blue Mysore crepe silk reminds me of my very first job interview. The double shaded mustard and brown sari with a mustard and gold border with a matching brocade bag was the first ever gift to me by my husband. The crisp white Bengal cotton with a blood red embroidered border takes me back to the funeral of my young colleague who suddenly and tragically died in my arms. The soft black silk with a narrow gold border is the very first sari I ever wore, feeling very grown up and special. The glowing cream Kanjivaram silk sari with a rippling pallu of subtly interwoven gold, green, and mauve was my Shashtya Purti sari, a landmark year indeed, celebrated with my loving family and friends. The Kanchipuram cotton with black, yellow, and red checks with an intricate red and gold border belonged to my mother in law, who gave it to me before she died at the age of 101. The Coca Cola pattu with a broad lilac border and the sunflower yellow with very fine green and red lines with the Ganga Jamuna border of red and green that I wore for my award functions have always been scene stealers. Various landmark birthdays and anniversaries are reflected in salmon pink, olive green, vibrant orange, and many other eye catching shades. Some saris, like my magenta and green patola, are quite frayed but still beautiful when worn. Some have been darned or repaired expertly enough to pass muster. Some can never be worn again, but are too beautiful and so interwoven with precious memories that I do not have the heart to throw them away. Every woman has many stories and voices nestling between the pages of diaries, but many have legends and history within the folds of dresses in a wardrobe. My cherished saris will continue to charm my children and grandchildren, adding a new chapter and acquiring fresh history in faraway lands. These are dreams never to be forgotten. They are dreams that will lead on to link with the dreams of another generation. History and dreams are interwoven in every warp and woof of every sari. Each time I see or touch a sari, I say a heartfelt prayer of gratitude to the untiring hands of the hard working weavers who would have labored meticulously at the loom for days on end to weave such a shimmering dream for us at the cost of their own difficulties. Thank you.
இந்த வலையொலி அனுபவ் தேசிய சமூக பாதுகாப்பு நிறுவனம், சமூக நீதி மற்றும் அதிகாரமளித்தல் அமைச்சகம் மற்றும் மீடியா ஃபார் கம்யூனிட்டி ஃபவுண்டேஷன் இவர்களின் கூட்டு முயற்சியாக உங்களிடம் கொண்டு வரப்பட்டது. திட்ட ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் டாக்டர் ஆர் ஸ்ரீதர் மற்றும் ஆலோக் வர்மா அவர்கள். வானொலி ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர்கள் பூஜா முராடா, கௌசல்யா மற்றும் சாய் சுதா அவர்கள். தயாரிப்பாளர்கள் கோவை வாணி, கோவைகேர் ரிட்டையர்மெண்ட் கம்யூனிட்டிஸ். நீங்கள் ஒரு மூத்த குடிமகனாக இருந்து உதவி தேவைப்பட்டால் எங்கள் எல்டர்லைன் ஹெல்ப் லைனை தொலைபேசி எண் 145667 இல் தொடர்பு கொள்ளவும். காலை 8 மணி முதல் இரவு 8 மணி வரை. ஒரு சிறந்த வாழ்க்கையை வாழ உங்களுக்கு உதவி செய்ய நாங்கள் உறுதி அளிக்கிறோம். மறுபடியும் கேளுங்கள். தொலைபேசி எண் 145667 காலை 8 மணி முதல் இரவு 8 மணி வரை.
That's all for today, folks. Be safe. Fight COVID with 2 vaccinations. Wear a mask when you go out. Keep safe distance. Observe proper hygiene. We must win. We will win. Thank you.